up to my kids' school every now and then. I always met the teacher or whatever. And when I was sitting in, it was the kids were struggling reading. And when it got to my son, I seen that he was struggling with his shit too. But after that day, it turned me on, bro. I put everything to the side and I put that shit first. So coming up with my own words, giving them spelling bees. I started writing math problems. When I started seeing all these different books, I started buying them. I knew I couldn't just do it for my son because he hung around my nephew. He was like 12 when he was a little kid. So I had them all like that.
That's what we stand on. Freedom is more than just a phrase. It's more about, like you said, free yourself financially, free yourself physically, free yourself mentally. Being able to, do things without having to worry about the fear of the what if factor. Knowing that you need something and understanding that whatever role you want to play, how you define that you have the freedom to do that.
But wherever I see him, I buy myself. To see the grapes.
See, I wasn't a grape head when I was a kid. I know one thing.
No, you missed it.
Though.
You missed it. But how old are you?
I just turned 40.
You might have missed the real grapes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what you didn't miss.
Yeah.
Real chicken, though. You ain't had a piece of real chicken. Today, nah, he ain't had no real chicken. What up? Welcome to the Breaking Bread podcast, hosted by me, Gold.e.Glass. Today, I'm gonna shout out a few sponsors. I'm not gonna call them sponsors. I'm gonna just say a few people that we breaking bread with. Big Trade Cuts, 730 Hudson Avenue in the city of Rochester. Go holler at my boy, he nice. You over by Stone Road, you out there in Greece, whatever. Go see my boy Beans at Juice Barbershop, 153 Stone Road, Rochester, New York. And if you're in the Dewey area, go holler at my boy Quick at Quick Main Events, 537 Dewey Ave, Rochester, New York. And also, I'm gonna shout out little cuz Bank Nitty. Look him up, Albert Jefferson on Facebook. Gorgeous Gangster Clothing. Check him out. One other little cousin, Hotmail, Broken Luxury. Look him up on Facebook, Hotmail Killers. And man, like I said, welcome to Bread and Bread Podcast, man. You know, I'm sitting here with the one and only. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Jermey Smith, Executive Director of Freedom Scholars Learning Center. It's a pleasure to be here, brother.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, you said Freedom School, right?
Yes, Freedom School is a part of the model. I said Freedom Scholars Learning Center, but we do use the Freedom Schools model.
That's what's up. Now, when I think of freedom, I think of freeing a person mentally, physically, and financially. That's what you guys. That's what you guys support. That's what y'all do over there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what we stand on. Freedom is more than just a phrase. It's more about, like you said, free yourself financially, free yourself physically, free yourself mentally. Being able to, do things without having to worry about the fear of the what if factor, right? Knowing that you need something and understanding that whatever role you want to play, how you define that you have the freedom to do that.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, first thing we do when we think of Freedom School, just to get it out of the way, we think of the little situation with Mr. Adam Fatton. What separates you, the program that you guys had going on from what they had going on? Because I know you are two different entities, right?
Yeah. I can't really tell you so much about what happened with, Adam Fatton in that situation. What I can tell you is that, we currently now have been running our organization over the last 5 years. Where we do and what we love to do, to serve children and communities. But yeah, just focus on us and making sure that we continue to nourish that we need to see our families succeed.
And that's what it is. Because, like when you hear the name Freedom School, his name is attached to it. So I'm glad we got it out of the way.
The Need Freedom Schools had a partnership and collaboration with Quad A. For after school programming, summer programs. We train staff and we work with some of the scholars in the location. But that's the only connection that we have with Adam. At any point in my time working at these groups. And this is
My next question is going to be, talk about yourself, man, and your mission.
Yeah. So, Freedom Scholar Learning Center, we're a not-for-profit organization. We serve children in the Beechwood neighborhood, in particularly, we have a location on 1245 Cole Road and also 1124 Cole Road. We're in space of 2 churches right now. who have been big advocates of what we do over the last 5-6 years. We serve children out of school time, summer and after school programming. Literacy is our number one staple, helping kids develop the love for reading, but also helping kids develop skills that they need to become better readers. We also spend a lot of time getting involved in community-based projects, civic engagement. We're really, really close with our parents. We know that a lot of this can be done with our caregivers and parents who really play a vocal part. So I don't have parents help write curriculum. I don't have parents help, design, certain projects. I don't have parents chaperone on field trips. I don't have parents start a potluck, you know what I'm saying? That's some of our meetings, but just really letting them know how much of a part they play in this vision that we're trying to, bring to the community. So, yeah, we do that, every day basis for the most part. Programs. So I have school programs 4 days a week. We work closely with School 33 school, closely with School 33, recruit students K through 6th grade. And come on Mondays and Tuesdays, they do projects with Cornell Public Extension for garden and agriculture we was talking about earlier before we got on.
All facts.
And then also we do some things with the freedom school model that we usually do in the summer, but we kind of, make it a little bit shorter than the school program. Still focusing on literacy, still doing the Harambe, which is our morning celebration, but now I turn into an afternoon celebration. We still do a lot of that corporate and group activity, still read books about Claudette Colvin and, some of the civil rights things that, put a lot of work in trying to get rights for Black people in this country, took it to the forefront, which we still fight for to this day, right? It hasn't changed. So, yeah, you got our summer program, which is 6 weeks, doing the same thing with freedom schools. You hire staff, national training, they get trained down at Alice Haley Farm in Clinton, Tennessee. We also spent some time in Knoxville University campus in Tennessee, working and collaborating with all these freedom schools across the country, all working together as well as summer to kind of, bring programs to children that's focused on reading a lot of books about Black people, you know what I'm saying? Some of our legacy, right? Stories about courage, stories about when the slaves didn't lay down, right? They got a book. I don't know if y'all know Yummy? You ever heard of Yummy? No? Never heard of Yummy? Y'all know Tupac, right? Listen to Tupac. Tupac got a song, I think, of Machiavelli. We talk about this young boy, Yummy. I'm from Chicago. Yummy was like, he was like a hitman at the age of like 10 or 11. Story is crazy. Chicago.
Yeah, but I think they talked about that because he said something on some kind of radio station.
Okay.
Not trying to get involved in it,
because
they take that real serious over there.
Nah.
But he said something on stage, on stage or something to a crowd, and they wasn't feeling it because they like, yo, listen, this is what goes on Chicago. In Chicago, you're not from around here, so. And I'm gonna just leave that at that. So
no, but it's a story about him.
It's definitely a story.
And how he came up exactly, and that book became a part of the CDF Freedom School's curriculum. Not to glorify what he was doing out here. It was more to tell the story of how he survived as a kid in the environment that led him to become what he became. And those stories our kids don't usually get to hear, the why, what happened. It's more about how they did it. Right, glorifying the how, and that's what they get caught up in it and don't know, like, I don't want to end up doing this. Like, I would have a conversation with a kid the other day. Like, I remember when people was hustling to feed their kids, right? Now everybody trying to get money to look fresh, right? Be in the club, right? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if they did do that, it was feed your kids first, you know what I'm saying? That was the game. So the game just changed, but yeah, but that's a little bit about what I do, man, in the community, so with children, become better readers, become more community advocates, and hurtful things, man. I love doing what I do.
Now, you did say that, like what you growing up seeing, the drugs and all this other stuff. What made you not jump out there? Because, we come from the same thing, man. We all come from the struggle.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
And, you always, I never seen you with a gun. I never seen you doing nothing, man. You was always on the right path, going to school and doing everything. Yeah. So, what made you stick with that route?
That's a good question, G. I think it was the circumstances around it. situations that I kept seeing that most people will fall victim to, and the results was the same, right? Cemetery, prison, or dealing with some type of situation where, you just in a downward spiral. And I know me for as a kid coming up and when we came up, I was tired of struggling. I was tired of being poor. I was tired of shaking the hatch off the egg on my side. You know what I'm saying? Fighting with my socks. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's the difference? What's the change? Like, what's the common denominator that they don't do that could probably at least give an option to be successful instead of doing the same thing over and over again, all of them that's leading downward. Well, none of them went to school. None of them put school to the forefront. Education is a top priority. So I started falling in love with school. And so I became, a lover of learning. It was a wrap, all the way to the point where, I got my master's degree in education. To do this work to help children, for more of a, accreditation. Not just saying that, but I'm still from the mud. I'm still from where I'm at. When you call me, what's my question? It's not even a question. I'll definitely do that. That's nothing. So nothing changed me. It's just that now that I got my foot in the door, I'm trying to open it up for as many as I can while I gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You heard? So yeah, that's the rule.
Because one thing I know that it takes is parent involved. You have to be involved. It takes that, because I like to tell real stories and I like to tell my life.
So
And now always was involved with my guests. Nah, man, I gotta get so much together. My mind.
It's easy to do that now, right?
It probably pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll put you on. Well, that's a fact. But
yeah, I was going up to my kid's school every now and then. I always met the teacher or whatever. So one day I decided to sit in, and this is real talk. And when I was sitting in, it was the kids were struggling reading. And when it got to my son, I seen that he was struggling with his shit too. And the teacher, she not looking at me, but we met. So now if she see me anywhere, she could be like, yo, oh, that's such and such dad, and his kid can't read. That's how I took it.
But you present though, at least you present.
Yeah, but nah, I respect the present part. But after that day, it turned me on, bro. I put everything to the side and I put that shit first. I had them kids, so no, he was probably like the third grade. I started coming up with my own words, giving them spelling bees. I started writing math problems. When I started seeing all these different books, I started buying them. So then as we moved from there, I started getting applications for one make copies. And I knew I couldn't just do it for my son because he hung around my nephew who was like 12 for these little kids. You understand what I'm saying? So I had them all like that. And this is real talk. Even to today, when they see me, someone will be like, yo, yeah, Uncle Doo, I remember. So that's what it is. I always been involved with my kid. And I know I can't change him without changing the people that's around him. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what you teach me. If you're sending them out there with the wolves, then what you taught them ain't gonna go nowhere. So you gotta teach the wolves too.
Do you feel you was more accepted when you started showing that you were very involved from the teachers?
Nah, I never felt accepted until I started taking them to the barbershop. And when I walk in the barbershop, I'm going there to get my hair cut. And I got like 6 little kids, and 2 of them mine. You understand what I'm saying? And one day the barber was like, yo, like, I noticed every time you man that band when you pull up. You got a bunch. I said, man, these my sons and his and you know what I'm saying, and my little nephews and
so basically it ain't, and I feel you on this, it ain't about it ain't about who the acceptance come from, right? Right. Sometimes I can care less about being accepted from my kid's school, right?
Yeah.
But if the barbershop respect me and I like,
right,
that's real. That's real.
Because to be honest, I felt embarrassed when I witnessed that because I always checked their homework, whatever. But we lived in separate households, so they was on a whole nother mission. We not go into that stuff. But yeah, so once I sat there and found out, it was like a knife in the heart, bro. I'll bring them on right now, call them, tell them, bro, that shit hurt it. And after that day, I said, yo, I gotta put this first because one thing about these kids is, man, you gotta learn to teach them what you know. And everything you know at an early age. Because it's real out there, man. And it's we don't like us, and there's a whole bunch of other people that don't like us, and it's a struggle.
It is. It is. It is.
And I believe in it taking the community to raise up. Because I grew up in the projects, right? Then to get back to you. I grew up in the projects. In the projects, if somebody heard me say something foul or to me disrespectful thing, the word was getting back to my mom. But that person would check me. It wasn't, oh, my mom never came around the corner like, oh, what did you say to my son? Like they do today.
Yeah.
It took a village to raise us. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
Yeah. We got the answer early, man. We got the answer early. I don't know why we don't operate how our elders did or how, our parents did, and they were coming up in the community. You know what I'm saying? Like the good old days that it's called, but yeah, 'cause you're right.
All facts.
That was your job. Make sure you hold somebody else's child accountable if they was right. Hey, you better tell. So yeah, you're right. You're definitely right.
Yeah, my mom good lady, man. But so what's your mission now? You said you try to get your own school and all that.
Yeah. So currently right now, man, my brother Brandon White, we've been collaborating and put together this school idea from the experiences that we learned from running freedom schools and running Freedom Scholars Learning Center now. And really trying to put something together to kind of, help bring a more of a school that's kind of built on producing, when we talk about signature learning experience, we talk about producing kids that will eventually be, the 21st century self-sufficient cohort of students, right? Students who can be able to, survive and be able to put themselves in situations that help them be independent and not necessarily always, having to get through life by being provided or somebody having to, be there to give them the assistance that they need. I just think that, there's a place in the world where our children can know that they can be the creators. They don't have to always be the consumers, right? They can be the producers. And that's what we want to bring at Freedom A&T. That's the move that we're doing. So it's a lot more that, of course, I ain't say my pitch, but that's particularly the school that we want to design. We want to design a school filled of children that's going to be self-sufficient through agriculture and technology, right? And that's what you was rapping about earlier about our ancestors, come and create irrigation systems.
Yeah, that was something from us.
Yeah.
They shot you in the city. That was something from us. Because I don't really like mentioning people's names.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna mention what was his name? Like Orlando Brown. He said he's a crazy dude. But what he said, I don't know. Orlando Brown is his name.
I don't know what that is.
Off Disney.
Yeah, he played online. He played online.
Okay, online.
Yeah.
You said what?
Offensive lineman.
No. That's Orlando Brown, the football player.
Okay.
Nah. What the man said made sense, bro. He said like good stuff, but it's the universe came with all these fruits and vegetables that it was given to us, and then it was stripped away from us and started being sold to us. But it wasn't meant to be sold to us. It was painful. It was enough to be.
You agree with that?
Yeah,
I would too. I would too. So yeah, absolutely. And that's a part of the school, right? I ain't gonna lie. We want to kind of collaborate with some of these Arab stores that's in our neighborhoods.
Could I interrupt you right?
Yeah.
Now listen, with that, for me, it would have to be some kind of not a thug approach, but almost like a mob approach. Like you gotta put a person.
Nah, I'm going to the mosque. The mosque right down the base street. Giving back at education is something that's required within the Quran. And if their mosques are within areas in which programs like mine exist, y'all got to figure out ways to collaborate with us, right? All I want is this. Give us an opportunity to kind of be able to grow fruits and vegetables within our school, a part of our kids' rites of passage curriculum, right? So that way they can show us how, in life, there's ways that they can build upon being independent, right? And one of them is through this project where you guys are working on a contract where we grow fruits and vegetables and we have our own fruits and vegetable stands within our stores. Not that little banana tray that they always
I was going to get
a few oranges and they got I'm like, let me give you a real area where, and we'll do the light for and fight for. We'll do the inventory as part of the math, right? You see how I'm doing this? Right? So they'll do all that. They'll do the budget. We'll make sure that, you know what I'm saying, it'll be a good way that we can kind of come with an agreement, how much percentage our kids will get from this versus how much they'll get with it, right? And we'll be in control of that. We just need a good square footage space to be able to put in it, right? And then y'all gotta do some book bag giveaways, man.
Oh, fact.
All these white tees up in there,
This
nobody crying. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody ever gives back to us, bro. Nobody. How much money we spend with Chinese people? Oh my God, man.
Bro, they all what? I'm tired of this. Like, don't let me get in.
Yeah, man.
I'm bringing everybody with me. We gotta, it's reciprocity, man. Like, yeah. Google solid, you know what I'm saying? Reciprocity, definitely.
And the key word that you used was independent.
Yeah.
Because that's what we need out there. You know what I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah.
And I feel like even what we doing right now.
Independent don't mean not collaborating.
All facts. I was going to get to that.
Right.
Because we gotta take these borders down within the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got people that be like, oh, the New York niggas, them West Coast niggas, these are dirty South niggas. But we are really the same. You know what I'm saying? And if they filming independent people in their neighborhood and we doing that over here, and we got a good part for a dude from Compton or whatever, and he 8 years old, but he can act real good. We should be able to fight this dude over here, and regardless of what, that this man filming this movie, put a few dollars in his pocket, send him back. But they got us in the jam. We confused. We need to be more independent, and that's the key word.
Exactly. Even you know, going back to the school in particular. My bad. Let me know if I'm talking too much.
No, it's good.
You know, one of the things that we want to emphasize as part of our curriculum is that, you know, make it learning meaningful. What I mean by that, like, you know, a lot of our kids who have parents in the population which we're going to serve, even though we're going to be a county-wide school, I foresee us having a lot of kids that may come from the city as part of our enrollment, just for various reasons in the early stages, right? So, and doing that, knowing that, okay, you may serve a population of parents, caregivers, and guardians who may be working 2 or 3 jobs. So, what if it will be so great if our kids can kind of like, you know, grow lavender as like, you know, a way that parents can kind of use to kind of help them with their sleep disorders, because lavender has been found as a way, Dr. Sebi talked about it, as a way to kind of heal sleeping disorders, right? We grow it, parents can pick it up at our PTA room every Wednesday or every Thursday, right? During the grow season, boom, get you a bag. You go create a little tea out of it, put some tea, lemon, honey, you sit there, write it down, you go up from job to job, CNN, you go on, working overnight here, you know what I'm saying, babysit here, at least we can't really overcome the whole, but at least kind of band-aid at least some of the sleeping disorder, right? And our kids good. And it's for free, right? And it's for their parents, to help their parents try to overcome something they're struggling with, because they gotta, you know, work these many hours and these three or 4 jobs that really help, you know, keep lights in. So that's the least that we can do. And the kids, again, they grow it, right? So that's the type of learning that we say we want to have when we're trying to close this achievement gap. Right? I think there's 3 gaps that our schools going to address: the achievement gap, the consumer gap, and then also the land gap. Right? Our kids don't have a connection to what it means to own land. Think being money. You was talking about that earlier. You have all stuff very interesting. You gotta say it again?
No question.
Is that right? He was talking about like that land part, right?
Now, before you get into that, we're in America. So do you really, because they already got us divided. Yeah. So do you really think that you really could own a piece of land around here? Because
it's really big, bro. Yeah, our ancestors did it.
I mean, I'm not saying that.
They have tools that we have.
But when you divide it, right? Now, but to me, when you divide it, and people see that and they got their stuff together, it's easy to be, you have to die for it. I'll just leave it at that. You know,
it's free to make free.
Because you gotta remember what we dealing with, and then we get back on topic is we got somebody who just went into a whole different country and took their president. Yeah. So if they could go where and do that, then here they could come and take anything.
I mean, just because that's true, don't mean that I ain't gonna try.
No, I will too.
My whole thing.
Yeah, I will too.
But I know that. And I know that going to get my piece of land, I know that at any moment there may be some type of racist deed or some bank that's writing some deed that don't really want black folk to own it. And at any moment when they can get away to kind of break the area, it can be taken away from you. You know, so I know that's a possibility. I do. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy that a mind got to go there, right?
Yeah.
So being that a mind went there, do you feel like all white people are racist? Now this is what. Hold on. Because you know you talking about getting to school and doing all this stuff. And then this was said by, once again, is public information. This was said by Dr. Umar.
Yeah.
That's how, you know, like to him, all white people are racist.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Because you know, he did the independent route and he trying to build a school too. First of all, do you think this was a scam or you scammed people? Or?
I can't really speak on that, but to answer your question about all white people are racist, I would say no. I think, you know, one, racism is more of an economic issue than a race or a color thing.
Oh, I can dig that.
It's just that, you know, we got to look at it differently. A lot of white people that I got around me, I know they genuinely care, not only from, you know, them doing and helping design certain things behind the scenes that on the program road, but because, you know, they put the blood, sweat, and tears, and they understand, you know, what it takes to kind of be, you know, a part of something that ain't really gonna have everything that need up front, but we're going to grind to make it through. And when I turn around, and for those people who, you know, were saying, yo, I'll be here from the beginning to the end, they start falling off, you turn around and they ain't here no more. But the white folks that you came in with, they still here through all the turmoil, right? You understand, okay, you know, it's a little bit different. And then you start to see that your families that you serve, you know, they're coming to you and telling you about certain things that, you know, how they're coming through for them in their personal life, about things that, you know, I know nothing about, I want to share, but it's like, wow, you know, for them to come up and help that family out as well, you know, to me, you know, it's all about your deeds, right?
Okay.
That's what I see, your deeds. At the end of the day, we all got red inside of us, so, I mean, most people that stabbed me in the back, they sucked dirt to me, they wasn't white.
I feel you on that. I say that.
And not everybody who helped me and got me through wasn't always white. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's a type of person, you know what I'm saying? Your economic status that can make you that. So that's mine.
So, well, I don't know if he scammed the people or not. I just had to ask. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Umar, nothing but love. I want to see the man talk. You know what I'm saying? Respect to him.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Umar.
And plus, you would never get the perfect message. You'll never get the perfect message, but you can get the perfect message. So he said a lot of good stuff that, you know, I respect. So shout out to him. We don't leave his name out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you said that that you got the school thing going. What was the process though? Did you have to go like to follow the same route as a city school district?
So, good question. So, it started out as me being a part of this initiative through Ready Geek. If you don't know who Ready Geek is, you can look them up. Doing some great work with the community. But I started out, you know, coming up with this particular cohort that they had that they were putting together to kind of allow leaders in the community who have been known to kind of do programming for children who just have a passion for, you know, looking at education different, to kind of get an idea, to kind of get your school idea off the ground and, you know, be presented in front of the SUNY board to kind of get your charter school, you know, launched. So in that process, when I started it out, I wound up being a not yet because they wanted me to find a co-founder. and I found a co-founder, which is my brother Brandon White. We wind up coming up with the idea of freedom A&T. We wanted to add agriculture to the school because, like I said earlier, we wanted to kind of build self-sufficiency. And we thought through, our ancestors such as Booker T. Washington, Washington G. Carver, or they all kind of use agriculture, education, academics, intertwined. So we wanted to look that, right? Through their philosophy of education, right? That's something that we agreed that it has to be agriculture, academics together to be self-sufficient. And we came up with those ideas for humanity.
Now, back in the days, I had read something. Well, I'm gonna say what I ran across it on Facebook or whatever. When they was talking about the seeds that we use for agriculture today, and how the system had manipulated them so that they don't give out the proper benefits and all that.
There's some truth to that. I agree. I agree with that. I don't know how much I can stand on that, but my own opinion and how I've been seeing with the current trends of what's going on with the producing side and things that are keeping, I think so I have read somewhere too where it said, when I think about it, McDonald's got a sign that they produce $1 billion a day, 1 billion burgers a day, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many cows is that? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying?
I always say that. It's impossible.
So somebody in the lab, somebody make this up. So, I mean,
HGMO.
Come on, talk about it.
Because like we coming up back in the days, bananas had seeds in them.
What?
Yeah, you know that. Yeah, bananas always had little black seeds.
I just turned 40.
Yeah.
Bananas is naturally seed cultivated plant. Yeah.
Is that the eggs, the little eggs part of the banana?
In the middle.
Oh, in the middle?
Yeah.
So check it. The bananas that we are consuming now are not the same bananas that we were consuming 20, 30 years ago.
So they answered the question. So yes. I think that's truthful, yes. Everything, everything. All that, yeah.
And that's crazy. Somebody will find it.
And that's why I'll tell you right now, when we grow, it's organic. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because we teaching the skill first. And you can't really water down the skill.
So it help the kids be self-sufficient.
Absolutely. Come on, buddy.
And when you leave the country, and then when you come back, the first thing they ask you is if you brought any seeds or anything back with you.
See?
Right.
Like, yo, did you bring anything back?
So, I wouldn't know this culture. I wouldn't know this culture. They didn't ask me that. They didn't ask me.
Well, yeah.
I went to the border. Did you fly or did you drive? Because I went to the border. I went to Nova Scotia.
Oh, no. I did some cruise and went to Canada. Did your thing when you were there.
That's crazy. I didn't ask you. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah,
I can see why, though. I can definitely see why. I can see it.
Hey, you're crazy. But yeah, that's it is.
That's deep.
Right. You need a moment of silence after that because our kids, the grapes with no seeds, everything. It's just
South Carolina, they got grapes and seeds.
But it's a lot of places that do. Even the watermelons.
It's funny that you say that because I remember as a kid, consuming grapes with seeds. Yeah, I remember that. I just turned 43 a couple days ago, so I remember that.
So where do I see in my Bible shop the seeded grapes?
See, I was in a grape head when I was a kid. I know one thing.
No, you missed it.
Though.
You missed it. But how old are you?
I just turned 40.
You might have missed the real grapes, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what you didn't miss.
Yeah.
Real chicken, though. You ain't had to be some real chicken. Today, nah, he ain't had no real chicken.
The chicken used to have to be on the newspaper with the grease in it and let it.
Yes, sir.
Because I had some good chicken there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Is that the fish? Yeah, I had that. You know, I'm from Royal Street, baby. You know I had some good chicken.
I ain't say you had no good chicken. I said real chicken. All the chicken for the last few years.
Without the hormones and all that.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
So back to the thing I was saying,
Because I was talking to somebody who traveled, and when she told me all the places that she been, I was like, "How's the chicken over there?" And first thing she said was, "Oh, you know, we eating your fake chicken." This is what she said. It was like chicken over there.
Yeah, the chicken in other countries,
Right,
they got
100%.
way more restrictions than what they're allowed to do over here.
Oh,
So, yeah, there's definitely much more organic over
I want to try to tell you on
They don't have
this.
You good.
they in other countries. They don't have the how can I say it? They don't have the means to mass produce like we do here.
Oh, fact.
So they gotta do it more organic.
They
You know
have
what I'm saying?
to do it more.
Yeah,
organic.
that's true. That's true. Absolutely.
Now you get back to what you were saying about your mission.
Nah, that's basically about how, it's important for us because of these things to kind of grow organically, or at least teach our kids the important facts of being able to, when we talk about the consumer guide, being able to know what you're consuming, right? Being able to have control of, the nutrition that you intake, right? And not only being able to understand that, but to put in place, the particular procedures, whether it is guards at home or whether it is, having, much more attention to your health related to your family legacy, right? And, paying attention to the different things that you want to intake in your diet, right? All that can be things that we feel we can instill in our kids at a middle school age, right? Starting the school off at 5th grade, 1 to 6, right? Or starting off in a combination of 5th and 6th, 1 to 7th and 8th. You feel that those are some pivotal ages that, our kids can come on and be much more conscious about the food, that they actually, intake. During this time of, food apartheid, right? People always talk about food deserts. We got a food. Food is here. One of the countries that got, a lot of food. We waste more food than more countries actually are able to produce.
But you think we wasting real food? Because
it doesn't matter. It's food, right? Now that's a whole other conversation, right? But my thing is, it's the food, right? We got that. So, it ain't the fact of the matter of that. It's just that you got to get more, more on top of the conscious level of being able to kind of manage, the things that we deal with that can be detrimental to us. Sometimes it's that, especially when it comes to food.
Oh, facts. And it also has something to do when you switch up the things you put to your body. Like for me,
Yeah.
We being going to the dentist wasn't really passed down like it was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of hate that because, man, sometimes I be going through it with these teeth in your fucking back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing that we got to start doing as a group of people. And what made me say that was you was talking about the Arabs and the stores was fruit, man, to get rid of some of these damn candy bars that's used to be 25 cents when I was a kid. Now they're $1.25, and you know what I'm saying? All these sugary drinks.
Me and my wife was having an argument because one day she had bought something at the store, and I look, kid you not, I was like, "Hey, you didn't read the expiration date? These things expired tomorrow." She was like, "Well, it's only a 6-pack." I forgot what it was. And I was like, "Man, but still." She was like, "Well, you act like you go to the Arab store and all that stuff you buy it and you read the expiration date. Then I ain't gonna front. It's plenty of times when I left the store and I'm like, yo, these taste stale. I just know what it is, you know what I'm saying?"
Facts. That's what I'm saying.
Like, on the chocolate, when you open it, it's more white than it's brown. It's like, but you're still eating it because it's a chocolate. You're mad hungry or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's just, different things like that. Like, like, if you're not using it, and there's a community that can consume it or a community that's in need. I just feel that there's a lot of different things that they can do to help support some of the struggles that we deal with within our community, right? One, because we support them so much, vast, right? A neighborhood of people on EBT and, trying to come up, man, all food stamps, whatever you want to call it, has really supported our stores. Now, look at the latest store that opened up. Stores ain't small stores no more. Those stores are huge, right?
Selling chicken.
Bird.
Chicken in the
Who buying a
that's
bird?
crazy.
Who buying a bird? We are.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Chicken in the gas station.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's crazy. They done switched to chicken in the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
We can buy the shirts up.
You know,
Chicken and all that stuff. Hey, we ain't gas.
right.
You gonna get a white tea and some chicken tender.
Yeah, white tea and chicken tender.
Word.
But and that's a good thing because one thing when you go out into these restaurants in the suburbs, the restaurant always have the closest college, not college, the closest high school or middle school, elementary school, like their soccer team or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of plaque to them. Yeah. And we spend more money with the people in our community, and I'm pretty sure that they spend it with the people in theirs. So, once you link up with them and y'all go over that, see if you get them to start recognizing what you got going on.
Yeah. So that's my move. I remember I had a conversation with the brother over here. I ain't gonna say the name of the store, but when we used to be over here, right here around the corner, and he was receptive. He was like, "Yo, let's sit down and talk. Let's sit in. We will support." Because I see, at this time we had scholars going over there spending money. I had staff going over there spending money. Uh, I had some of our reading aloud guests. They would stop over there to grab something. They would, come read to the kids. I had young youth that had youth program with us. They would stop over there. So they was making a lot of money for the people that was in there, that was coming in and out of that building. So the store or coming to the store was an option to go over there. And so he knew that, what I was talking about was something that he needed to support for various reasons because we were giving back to his store.
All fast. Now, when you put that together, man, you got to have something that, like some kind of flyer, something that has the name of all the stores that's involved with your mission, so you know who to support.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
That's
the move too. Y'all let's go down to that. Exactly. Yeah, we always give love back. It ain't like, and we already been giving love. You know what I'm saying? So, and I love how you put that together because there's definitely going to be benefit for them out of this. This ain't just going to be the school's going to benefit for this. This is a way that we try to show these kids how to advocate for not just for self, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we came over here and got westernized in this culture and it became about individuality. But we come from the village, you said earlier, right? It's about all of us. So I think a school like this will help kind of create that. Definitely a partnership like that will force them to learn how to put, parameters in place in their community to create a culture of that. So
No facts. And also, before we got here, anybody, I got an idea for anybody that's who need funding and how the community can help fund a person in their movement.
Salute.
It's easy. All we got to do, to me, I'll be wrong, but I'm just giving you my idea and how I look at it. We can have like a bottle drive. That way, it's not hurting nobody.
Roots.
It's not hurting nobody.
Grassroots.
Y'all, we give out some bags or whatever. And on garbage, the days that you don't just say like on the garbage day next to the garbage can, put your bottles out there.
Yeah.
And we have somebody come through, collect them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then just like garbage days, on these days, go over here, have somebody collect the bottles and start.
You know what's been a big thing, a big need from a lot of things that I've been hearing lately from our parents. You connected with our parents too. We do. You hear things. Food. Food distribution in terms of being able to kind of get through those times where it ain't the first of the month, it ain't the 15th. You're struggling right now. Now it's you waiting until it come back around, right? That safety net, for the most part, a lot of our parents are looking for. And a lot of them are also trying to find after school care for pre-K students. We used to serve students in pre-K at our summer program. The capacity to do that moving forward, we no longer do. So I've had to turn out a lot of pre-K applications, especially with training going on in Minnesota. There's going to be a lot of audits. I think New York State's going to be another one that's going to be heavily audited when it comes to daycare centers, right? So if you even cross all your T's and dot all your I's, the hammer is probably coming soon about, making sure that you got everything. If you got any smidge of something ain't right, I don't care if it's 5 years ago, they'll probably try to shut you down. You know what I'm saying? So daycare after school program for pre-K students has been a huge need. So any pre-K after school programs watching this or hearing this, get my contact information from Gold.e or
You can spin it like it's a 16.
Yeah, it's spin it like a 16. Yeah, you lit, right? You can reach me at jsmith at freedomscholarslc.org. That's LC, L as in Larry, C as in cat. Freedom Scholars is plural, freedomscholarslc.org. Or you can reach me at our contact number 585 420-8733. Once again, that's 585-420-8733.
And we gotta show more love towards each other, because back in the day when I was a kid, it wasn't no babysitters, no daycare centers, and none of that. All this is new.
We had First Street.
Yeah.
We had the Genesee Settlement House, right?
And we had whoopings.
Baby.
Yeah, we had that.
And y'all reading the book right now.
Ask the belt.
Beating Black Kids. I got a book right there about book back called Beating Black Kids. I want to read it. It was just something that grabbed my eyes, but it's funny. Yeah, we need to get back to it. Well,
we ain't gonna really say whooping. Well, we got to get back to
management in the home. Kids can't be doing whatever they want to do.
You said we need more dads in the home?
More management in the home.
Oh, all facts. More management.
Definitely doing what they want to do.
Elaborate.
Good question. I think kids need more structured scheduling. I think a lot of our kids, because at home, there's no routine. Everything is on the go. It's by operation. That looks different when it plays out, right?
It's the anxiety of
all that.
Is the anxiety of parenting letting the kids determine their own schedule?
Absolutely, without a doubt. And the fear of parenting is letting kids choose their own schedule. There's some parents that don't understand that, holding kids accountable is part of parenting too, right? Putting your foot down is part of parenting too. It's okay to do that, even though they come on corporal punishment and all that. Hey, if maybe you was talking earlier, if it's to make me think twice,
right?
You tell me, right? Especially, right, if you talk having sons and being fathers, like, that's my biggest.
It's real important.
Yeah, very important.
Facts, because I had to switch my kids' days. Like Monday through Friday, if you watch TVs 2 days, 3 days, it's
routine.
Yeah, I had to switch routine. You know what I'm saying? Because if you pay attention to what you feed your kids, like
diet.
Yeah, listen.
I done had kids like the school program, bro.
My son, he was a little
rolls, split gyms, Twizzlers. My bad, go ahead, bro.
No, I was saying about the programming, right? Because I noticed my son, when he was little, he used to be easy to start crying. So I used to like, why the fuck this nigga always crying all the time? But then I learned though, because you actually learn. That's what Caillou used to do. No disrespect to Caillou. You know what I'm saying? Well, he didn't have his way.
Yeah.
So that's how he understood.
That's real. Yo, you better watch that,
You gotta watch
Will.
Mentally too. Mentally, yeah.
That's a fact.
So once I seen that, I was like, oh, that's where you get this shit from. Yeah, Caillou.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's real. Yeah, that's real.
But another great episode. You know what I'm saying? Breaking Bread podcast.
Yeah.
Jermey Smith, Gold.e.glasstv. You know, I got EJ doing the editing. My boy Sos over there. Yeah. And just remember, man, first thing first is being the parent. You know what I'm saying? Whether you in the house or out the house, man. You know what I'm saying? And having respect for each other. You know, some shit I had to learn along my path. But you gotta be a parent, man. Regardless of what these kids, they get older sometimes. Like I said, they might journey out on their own mission. When they out there, you pray for them or whatever you do. And hopefully they come back when they seen it. Because today, man, just knowing that any day you could die, like, that's a trigger for some people to just be out of it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, goddamn, not smoking and running around asking for change. You know what I'm saying?
If you turn like that, it turn like that. I mean, we knew that we knew was going to be determined, or they look like they was going to be determined and wind up turning to be online.
All facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But once again, man, Breaking Bread podcast. Like, share, subscribe, do everything. Take clips, share them.
Yes.
Help me hustle. You know, keep watching. You know, see the progress. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna ask for no cash app. I just ask them subscribe, share, and like. You know what I'm saying? Breaking Bread, Gold.e.glass. Next week, it's gonna be another banger. Yeah, it is. I grew up with albino roaches, I'm from the Ville. That mouse wore a rat around, I know the smell. We was fucked up, I stacked the clientele. Saw a nigga kill off-white like Virgil. Young the white good and got it off the mound. The only way is up, I'm starting from the ground. Remember when them deuces jumped 55? That was back when Trilla Nerve was still in